Teacher assessment in primary science, the TAPS project, is based at Bath Spa Institute for Education, and it's funded by the Primary Science Teaching Trust. And we work with a range of people across the country, primary science quality mark schools, Primary Science Teaching Trust fellows, and 12 local schools. The TAPS project aims to develop support for valid, reliable and manageable assessment, assessment which will have a positive impact on pupil learning. And it's valid because it's based on a whole range of information, it's reliable because there's moderation discussions going on, and it's manageable because it's really focused and purposeful, based on formative assessment, good teaching and learning, active pupils and reactive teachers. At the beginning of the TAPS project, we worked with a wide range of schools to look at features of successful assessment. But very quickly we realised that it wasn't just assessment. What we needed to do was look at the whole school when we were considering what was happening here. I asked 3 members of staff at Shaw Primary School in Wiltshire what makes for successful primary science and its assessment.
All right, well, I think it's probably because it's enjoyed. It's enjoyed very much by the children. They really are engaged and they just love it. When you say you're doing science, then usually it's like, yeah, can't wait to do it. But also it's enjoyed by the staff. We've worked quite hard on developing science over the last, 8 years really. And we haven't had that much turnover of staff, so that has helped. But they feel confident because of the work that we've done. The resources are there for them, so they're not having to scrabble around for things. The parents have become involved as well. We involve them a lot when it comes to things like Science Week, but also if we know that any of them have got a particular skill, then we'll invite them in so that they can come and help with the learning. Children sometimes take science home for home learning, so they're trying to find out more to support the topics they're doing. This year I've developed something called Science News Hounds, where each class has a couple of representatives, so we're all really keen to be it, and they come and talk to me and they find out things themselves that's going on in the world, and they've got a little notice board where they can write things up and share things. They see it as something that's all around us, it's really important, and they really enjoy it.
Well, we're really lucky here at Shaw to have amazing outdoor space, so we can use that to aid our science learning all the time. That really motivates and inspires the children here at Shaw. We've also got a very inspiring science coordinator, science subject leader, who has really motivated all of us to develop our science teaching, and more importantly as well to focus on science skills, not just the knowledge side of things, so working scientifically with children a lot more than knowledge based.
We treat science in the way that we treat the rest of the curriculum. It's not something different. What's good teaching, learning and assessment in science is good teaching, learning and assessment in anything. And we've got a staff who are willing to take risks. They are willing to find a different way of doing things at the same time as continuing to do things that are very successful. So we don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. Leadership is hugely important as well. I've been very fortunate to have a deputy who's passionate about science. For any of this to be successful, it's got to be led from the top. And she's advised me, and we've worked together, and we have just made it very clear from the top of the school that science is a hugely important part of the curriculum and needs to be taught really well.
The whole team here is really motivated by science. That's been brought on by a lot of science staff meetings where we moderate children's work together, but again on the working scientifically rather than just on their knowledge, which has given us all a really good understanding of science in all year groups, not just in the classes we're in. We've had a lot of inset, again from our science lead and through TAPS, which has really developed our cross-curricular links with science as well, involving maths, writing, so other areas. We have been involved in team teaching, so our science coordinator will come in and team teach with us, which has again really developed science teaching across the school and a team approach. And also we have a science week most years where we go into other people's classes and teach science. We support each other with different ideas, and we've also had STEM ambassadors visit the school.
We have a scheme of work which they have a thorough understanding of it, and assessment for learning is very much part of that. It's embedded in it. We've taken part in PSQM. That has helped focus all of our minds. We've certainly got a shared understanding what our principles are, and the key one for us is that children should be engaged and enjoying it. We are looking at science from a knowledge and understanding point of view and working scientifically, and that working scientifically we want to be developing children who are scientists and not just people who know lots of facts. Science is cross-curricular. We try and get, although we've got a scheme of work that we're using, we try very much to not necessarily follow it as it's all written down. It's basically just a lot of ideas, and people look at their topic work and they see if they can try and make meaningful links so that they can use the topic as a vehicle for teaching the science, and I think we're getting better at that, particularly in terms of maths links and things like that, trying to get that in.
A shared understanding of science comes with a lot of hard work, really. It doesn't happen by accident. Again, strong leadership maps out the pathway forward, but also understanding that we've got to take people along at their own pace. There are some people who have run with the whole thing right from the very beginning, and others who've needed more support, and knowing where you can take them, what their next steps are. Because we don't see science as different to the rest of the curriculum, obviously we're talking about good teaching, learning and assessment all the time, whether it be English, maths, foundation subjects, whatever it might be. So the learning that we have about the rest of the curriculum is equally applicable to excellence in science. So it's not that we have to wait for a science staff meeting to be talking about what is good teaching, learning and assessment in science. We're talking about those kind of things all the time.